Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
So I just wanted to add something real quick. So I actually am from Cincinnati, but I live in Ocala, Florida now. Grew up a big Buckeye fan, and then when RG3 was at Baylor, I started rooting for Baylor on the side also. So I really love what you guys have done. I just wanted to ask, with OU and Texas moving to the SEC, I really don't think Texas is going to have a good time for at least the next 4 or 5 years. So I wanted to see how successful you guys think they'll be. And then also, since I am from Cincinnati, I do think it would be a natural transition for UC to go to the Big 12. I mean, you look at how they competed last year. They played a hell of a game against Georgia in their bowl game. So I really think it'd be a great fit. So I just want to get your guys' take on it.
I like Cincinnati. I asked this yesterday with Paul, who's out today until Monday. Is Luke Fickell, how long is he going to be there? And that's the same thing that schools that have not won a lot have to ask, like Matt Campbell questions and Ames all the time. And Matt Rule when he was here, Art Browse when he was having a run at Baylor, they won't be there very long. There's only a few Bill Snyders anymore, and of course he's gone as far as out of coaching as well. One of the things about Cincinnati, that's a hell of a program. They've got some meat there. And with Luke Fickell there, they will compete. The question is, how long is he there? And even if you think he'll be there 10 years, that's still a legitimate question because they're not Power 5. And being a part of a Power 5, I don't know if that keeps him at Cincinnati any longer, but it sure doesn't hurt that you can sit there and say we're now a part of a Power 5 conference. Cincinnati can play the damn game.
Yeah, no, since I watched Cincinnati a lot last year, and I like Luke Fickell a heck of a lot too, and you definitely can invite teams based on who their current head coach is with how much college football shifts the landscape. But just in general, Cincinnati was a team wildly rumored to be involved in the last round of Big 12's investigation or I guess look into expansion a couple of years back, and they were a no-go then, just like UCF and SMU and Houston and all the other teams that might have been involved in throwing their hat into the ring. I don't know what the Big 12's reasoning for that was back then. I think it was probably just the fact that adding those teams wouldn't have bumped the revenue shares per team. It would have actually probably lowered it. And that's what it ultimately boils down to. So, if there's a scenario where the Big 12 is allowed to survive somehow post Oklahoma and Texas, and it's by expanding, I don't know that would happen soon. But Cincinnati is definitely near the top of my list of teams that I think would be of interest, along with UCF, along with BYU, along with Boise State. I mean, shoot, you had those 4 teams right there. I think that's, you might not be a Power 5 per se, but you would be pretty close on the edge. Now, I don't know financially how much that conference would really matter. I don't know eyeballs-wise. I mean, I know BYU brings a big audience. I know Cincy does well, et cetera. But is it enough to put them over the top to make that move worth it? Last time it wasn't for the Big 12. Now it's a much different scenario, obviously, so maybe it will be. But I definitely think if there's an idea of expansion for these remaining schools, that Cincinnati will be, right there near the top of the list, I would think.
We got a break. Craig and I will be here until 6 o'clock. We have John. We have Ross Dellinger on the show. We've got to get to the NCAA thing when we come back.
No,
okay?
I want to answer his other question really quick.
Okay.
On Texas, we said it a little bit earlier, I think both Oklahoma and Texas will do well. I don't think they'll run in and start winning conference championships, but I wouldn't doubt Oklahoma having like an A&M entry type of run. Not Manziel mania, but success like that early on. Texas, I'm not really sure. I need to see them actually play under Steve Sarkisian. I think they'll definitely be much improved, but I need to kind of get a better look at them this year and know really what direction they're heading. And it appears they're heading a positive direction, but I would lean towards Oklahoma probably having more early success, but I don't think either one necessarily comes in and just becomes a 500 team because they joined the SEC, just my opinion.
All right, we'll get back to your calls. We got to take a break right here. Text line, I tell you, when I get home at night, I'm trying to spend about 45 minutes to an hour with those of you texting, even when we're off the air and have been off the air for an hour or 2 or 3, because a lot of you watch the replay or certain segments. Thank you. And I'll try to do that when I can. And then when I get up, I go after it again to try to respond to some more of your questions. We appreciate it. When we come back, more of your calls, text, and chat. 254-339-1122, and Craig's note about the NCAA and what they're about to talk about as well down the road. And this is SicEm365 Radio.